Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games of the Game Pass collection, bringing you 3 new perspectives from varying skill range. I am the soldier who runs off to war, and Andrew, I forgot intros here, so I'm
excellent my start. This is good. This is good.
Yep. With us, the soldier who's always runs into the meat grinder, Keith.
Hello.
And our mercenary that we paid to come onto the stream, Aaron.
Hello, hello.
And this week, we covered a game that, Aaron, you're the kind of one who picked. Well, I first got into this, but I know you really wanted this game as well. But we played Isonzo, World War I Italian Front. Isonzo is a 20 versus 20? Yeah. It's a...
Is it? Yeah, maybe you could. Yeah, I think it's 20 versus 20. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, wait, is there bigger maps now? But it is a World War I realistic first-person shooter multiplayer game where you are playing, obviously, countries in World War I fighting over the battlefield. Not much for story here because this is a strictly multiplayer game. But really wanted to cover this because, Aaron, you were a big-time Battlefield fan. We did the Battlefield episode with us. But I thought it would be great to have you on this.
Yeah, we did. I think every time I'm on here, we talk about the Battlefield episode. It's like a weird trend. We just have to reference it for no reason at all. But I do believe we talked about all the Battlefields back then, right?
Yeah, we did a full recap.
All right, good. So I've covered my love of Battlefield 1. So yes, this is just an extension of all of that.
And Keith loves them too.
Yep. Sure do.
But yeah, Isonzo is a bit more realistic, so if you like the Battlefield games, you may enjoy this. But going around, Gamer Pass, for me, this... All right, so I know a lot of people... I've been digging through the internet. There's a huge cult following for another game on Game Pass called Hell Let Loose. I really want to try Hell Let Loose. I played a good amount of it. It's a bit rough. You are either going to love that game or hate this game. So then, but I heard a lot of people talk about Isonzo. So I was like, well, what is this? Then luckily this came on Game Pass. I picked this up and I was like, this is my jam. I love the realisticness of it, but I also love this is more video game. It's more video gamey than, Hell Let Loose was. Hell Let Loose is a straight up like simulator. This was a lot more fun. So I would actually give this a definite game. I've been having a ton of fun with Isonzo. This is a really good multiplayer game.
So you alluded to my love of Battlefields. And it's not huge. Battlefield.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, it's not. Battlefield is a game that, at least to some degree, I could get suckered into playing it in groups, like with you guys occasionally. And I could make the best of it, just having a good time playing with the bros, if you will. Isonzo is like Battlefield Simulator. And I know that, Andrew, you played Hell Let Loose and you just said it's a lot more simulator, so I just don't even need to think about that one, I don't think.
I'm tempted to see you play Hell Let Loose.
I can tell you one of the things that really, it's hard because I don't even want to say I disliked it. I was so incredibly bad at this game that there's just zero amount of fun for me to be had for the most part. Like, again, could I get suckered into playing some multiplayer with you guys or, some of our other group? Maybe, but I would not be having the best time, and I'd rather be getting angry at our Widowmaker in Overwatch for that matter. So largely as a pass, but this is a game that at the same time, could I recommend this to people? 100%. Like if Aaron wasn't sitting here with us, if you hadn't played this game and I had just played it, I'd be like, Aaron, you've got to check this game out, which is essentially what Andrew did. Like I could recommend this game to plenty of people, but for me, nope.
Yeah. So I'm going to try my best to not go on like long tangents about this just because is tangent always a negative?
Not necessarily.
Okay, good. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean a positive tangent. So
you don't mean to gush.
Yeah, that's much better. I don't want to gush too much about this, but I think I first heard of Isonzo. Did you guys, any of you watch Jack Frags on YouTube? Very popular YouTuber.
I know the name, but I don't watch him.
Okay. So he basically just highlights video games all the time. And Isonzo came up once, and I thought it was just one thing. And I think he was highlighting an update. And it's basically a bunch of soldiers sitting on a cliff, dropping rocks down on the heads of players coming up and they're shooting at these players. And I was like, what the heck is this? But this looks kind of cool. Totally forget that game exists. Time moves on because I think at the time it was maybe PC only. Andrew mentions to me that, hey, this game on Game Pass, Aaron, I think you'll like it. And it clicked like, oh, that was the game Jack Frags highlighted like 4 or 5 months ago. That's the game. So I was happy to download it, but I've only seen really one level of it. I didn't know much about it. This game is such a perfect balance of military sim, which seems to be all the rage. There's a million military sims, like you mentioned. Hell Let Loose, I'm with you. Hell Let Loose is slow. It's slow. They're huge levels. I feel like you're just slowly sludging.
It's a lot of walking.
And then you just die. And you're like, I don't know what that was. I don't know where it came from. It made no sense. Why Isonzo's better is it balances the military sim with still an arcadey feel. And more importantly, it funnels the battle. So it's very easy to see where the perimeters of the battle is, where in Hell Let Loose, it feels like it's just a vast space. I don't really know where I should be going or what I should be focusing on. Isonzo is pretty easy to follow those things. So, and then kind of like the third element of this game that really just hooks me, just gets into me, is the progression system. I love this progression system. There's always things that you can level up. There's always challenges that you can do within those things that unlock newer weapons, unlock newer gadgets, unlock newer abilities. I eat that stuff up. I love that type of stuff. This is a definite game for me, obviously. Battlefield 1 is my Battlefield 1 is my probably one of my all-time favorite Battlefield games. This is a World War I kind of mil sim. Excellent all around. So yes, definite game.
See, I'm gonna like disagree a little with Keith there. I know, Keith, you were mostly saying you don't like this game because of a skill issue. Honestly, I'm not very good at this game, but that's what I was afraid of when I first booted this up. I was getting picked. Like I would just peek over a barrier, and boom, I was dead. I was like, okay, but it's still, I was just like, okay, this is actually fun. Because I love this game is just rifles. Well, mostly rifles. There's obviously some machine guns, but I love just the pop, reload, pop, reload, pop. It's just so satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, as long as, so me and Keith have known each other since 6th grade, and I have never, Keith is nodding for those that don't know, so he is agreeing with me. We have known each other since 6th grade.
Confirm.
I have never known Keith to be a first-person shooter, like, fan. He just has never been,
at the very least, not good at them.
Yeah.
You'll play them. Yeah, I can't say you were ever like the best of anybody in the group if we were playing a first-person shooter. You just
often the worst,
were.
honestly.
And you were great at MOBAs. You were way better than me at MOBAs, and you probably put in more time into RPGs than I ever put into. You were somebody that could sit down and play those types of games, but you were never a first person. So yes, is this game good for a person who doesn't love first person shooters? Absolutely not, because it is not forgiving. It is mostly single shot rifles. If you miss your shot, pray they miss too, so you get another chance at it, because you're going to get picked. And it isn't like that across the board, because there are multiple classes you can pick from. And there is one class that I don't think requires you to be that great of a shot. And it's a lot of fun because it's like a totally different game within the game. And that's playing as like the general
the officer.
The officer plays a totally different game. And I love it. And there can only be 2 on each team. But if you can get the officer, he's got, even the revolver is awesome. Its reload is awful, but it's a ton of fun to use. So even if you're not great, I would say playing as the officer at least offers a different element.
See, I think it's funny that you say that you've never known Keith of like your first-person shooters. In my mind, I always associate Keith with first-person shooters because when we were younger, I always think of him in Turok, specifically Turok Rage Wars. We played a whole lot of Rage Wars. I remember Keith too. I associate him with Red Faction on PlayStation 2. I remember you would bring that over our house, and we loved playing that because you had a bot that you could level up, and it was just like a cool game with it. And then Call of Duty, when he ends up flashbanging himself.
Oh, yes, but that's an example of him not being good. When we basically laughed at him to the point of raging and giving up on the game. I associate Keith with Gran Turismo.
Yep.
On the PlayStation. Honestly, it's all PlayStation stuff. Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid. I remember watching you play Metal Gear Solid, and then Final Fantasy VII. Those 3 games, I think I probably sat and watched you play more than any other video game.
Metal Gear Solid, it's weird you mentioned that because when you said that, distinct core memory popped into my brain. And I don't know if you remember this. It was me playing Saturday morning indoor soccer. I don't know why I was playing indoor soccer. I wasn't good at soccer, but you stayed over my house. And I think you actually just stayed back at my house. The soccer arena, if you will, was behind a McDonald's.
Yes.
And I just remember being at that game.
point.
I did. I just remember being at that game miserable because all I wanted to do was being at home and playing Metal Gear.
That's where your priority is. I can't believe I just stayed back while you went and played soccer.
Because I think you went and played Metal Gear Solid, probably.
It is possible. It is possible. There you go. Core memories, but that was never first person shooters. That's not what I ever associated Keith with. It was always kind of RPGs.
Twisted Metal kind of was driving first person shooter in a way.
I guess.
But and this is where, I think part of it's, maybe a little bit of the evolution of Keith, but I think where the turning point is as you pointed out, Call of Duty, that's where online play came in. Mm-hmm. And that's where it just became brutally apparent to me that, I didn't just sit in this group of 4 or 5 guys or whoever and just, I'm not the best one here. I get online and I go 2-20 and I realize that the whole world, I'm not average. I'm bottom 10% of these. And I just go, maybe this isn't for me. And I just, that's when I started to branch out into the RPGs, all of the things like that. And I think actually turning to Xbox really kind of changed that for me too, because I think, I don't know, it's weird because I know PlayStation is known for RPGs and the likes, but I don't know. I think Xbox doesn't always have, outside of Halo, like any major shooters.
Now they've got the biggest shooters on the planet. I will give it to you though, Keith. At least you give it a try. You tried X Defiant the other day as well. So I mean, even though you know that it's not your cup of tea, you still give it a try, and that's worth something.
That's how this
gold star.
I mean, that's really how this whole classification came for us. Is I was the one who was no good, but I still try. I still keep trying.
But yeah, the story of Isonzo. I mean, the story is
it's
history.
World War I.
Yeah, it's World War I. So
they are all accurate. They're all historically accurate battles. It does have kind of like
I don't know. I played Battlefield 1 and I don't see any jumbo blimps with guns on it that are raining down on people.
Okay.
I also didn't see armored trade.
Gameplay element in Battlefield 1. There is a lot of text in this game, so there is a desire for it to be historically accurate. And that's why I say it does a good job of balancing the sim with an arcadey shooter. Like, it's still a fun video game, but it also tries to be historically accurate as well. So you're not going to see there are machine guns in it, but they're very hard to get. You have to level up pretty high to get those things.
Yeah.
See,
when people get them though, they run the room.
Yeah. Cause there weren't a lot of those in World War I. And especially, I think you're mostly playing as the Italians, the Germans. I don't know if you play any Russians, do you?
The Hungarians.
Hungarians are the other one, I think.
I think there's a 4th. I think the 4th is a relatively newish one.
Yeah.
But I'm drawing a blank on them.
So there is story, quote unquote, and it's history, but there is no single player here, so there is no progression of any type of story.
I don't think there's any bots either.
There is. You can actually play an offline game, or I somehow got into it by accident. I don't know. I played one because I was playing and I was like, wait, maybe I'm not as bad at this game as I thought I was. I ran into a room and there's 3 people and pop, missed one, but then pop, got 2. I was, I'm really good at this game. And I was like, what are these names? Like Mario, Enzo, Ferrari. Like, what's going on right now? Oh, dang it. These are all bots.
You got bamboozled.
Yeah, but I had 45 kills and 10 deaths. So it was pretty cool.
They're very racist, stereotypical names.
They're all Italian and the names are very close. I'm also Italian, so I think I can say that.
I honestly would have never guessed you were Italian. I would have said you were purebred Irish.
Yeah, it doesn't show very much, but my great grandmother, straight off the boat.
Did not know that. Well, you learned something. I've known you since 6th grade, and I did not know that. I learned something new today.
He has the love of cheese.
I do. Aaron knows how much my family loves cheese.
I like this. This is turning into just
This is like a
story
Story time with Keith.
of me and Keith knowing each other for like 2 decades, over 2 decades.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, the gameplay, as we said, it's usually attack, defense, teams. You have different classes, the officer, you have the assault, you have the mountaineer, you have the recon, and I think that was it, right?
Yes.
Engineer. I don't know if I said engineer.
What was your favorite class?
Once I saw the assault got the machine gun, when you leveled it high enough, I was like, I need to work on the assault. But I actually enjoyed the engineer. I enjoy actually running around and just building things and building the guns and setting up barbed wire. But yeah, like you said, the officer, there's only 2 officers per team. So it's very limited, but I got it twice and I loved it.
I always had a match where I could play as it. So just to describe it for anyone that doesn't understand. So each class has its own set of specialties. The most useless one in the entire group, in my opinion, is the recon, or whatever the sniper class was.
That's marksman.
Pointless. I don't think it actually did anything that.
No, they get
helped.
a scope. They get a scope eventually, and they actually have a actual like sniper.
Eventually, other than that, you're basically using the same guns everybody else is using, but with no other distinguishing thing to help the battle. So it's like, I guess you could do the stand up telescope thing, but that thing just made you a target. Like, it was awful.
No, because it would look over a barricade, so you could be below the barricade. It would look above it, so you could recon safely.
It was only really useful if you were kind of more up on a hill, so you could capture a lot of targets with it. I don't know.
I used it. I liked it, Aaron.
I did. Like, I used every class. I think I got almost every class to 10, at least. What?
I can't believe you put so much time in this game. I remember when I told you about Isonzo, you were like, oh yeah, this game got it hooked with me. And like after 2 days after I told you, you had like 10 hours of play. You literally played so much.
I stayed up. You guys know me. I like want to be pretty much in bed by 10. And it was like pushing me past 10:30 where I was like, yeah, I could keep going. It's very rare that a game does that to me nowadays. Nowadays, I kind of take that 10 o'clock end time pretty seriously. But the game had me hooked. And it was
like, I have a lot. My highest character class is 6.
No, I at least got to 10 on every one. I'm trying to think of which one I ended up. I'd have to pull it up and see it, which one I kind of got ahead on. But the officers, what was cool about the officers is all throughout. So you run around with a pistol. That's your main weapon. If you get enough of the Magnum kills, you do get a kind of smaller pistol.
Beretta,
fire
I think
off.
it was
the Beretta
one.
It's a little bit weaker, but not by much.
But better reload.
Yeah, you can win in some fights pretty quickly with it. But its big thing is there are stations all over the field that you go to and call in airstrikes, gas bombs, recon, and that's where you're getting most of your points and kind of progressing the field. I think that one I might be the highest level because there are some matches where you're just running recons and it's just
tons of assists,
giving you so much XP, and then you're bringing in a bomb strike and you end up hitting like 15 people and you get a whole ton of stuff for that. So it's probably one of my favorite things. And then it's got the whistle where everybody can get temporary sprint. Without
respawn time, reduced respawn time.
Reduces respawn time. I thought it did something with your sprint too.
No, only the assault had the canteen, which gave him unlimited sprint.
I thought that was also with the whistle, but
it might be. But I know at least as a respawn time.
But I think that one was my favorite, just because it plays so differently than everybody else. I think that one is my favorite. Keith, do you even have a favorite?
I played the engineer the most because I kind of hearkened to my battlefields where it's like, okay, like Andrew said, I'll just go be a little bit of a builder. I know I'm not going to be the shooty guy to win the battle here. And it just didn't matter because I didn't know where I was dying from ever. And I'm glad, like you were talking about, it's a confined battlefield, it's fairly funneled, where you're going. And that is appreciated because I didn't, I was spawning right back into battles and close up. But no joke am I spawning and staring at somebody who shoots me dead in the face. And I'm just like, what? Why? And and that's if I do see them. Half the time, again, like I said, I don't see them, or this is a weird thing of like, I kind of like it, but I don't. There's no hiding in a building. You still take damage inside a building pretty easily from what I could tell, because I died inside a lot of buildings as airstrikes were going over. And to a certain degree, I do think that's very realistic. You don't just hide inside a building, a little shanty and everything's okay. But at the same token, there was nothing. I think I had one game where I was like 9-35 or something. And I was in the game from about 250 plus tickets. It wasn't like I showed up late.
That can't be true, because I saw your achievements. You got the achievement where you kill like 20 people with the machine gun in a game.
Offline counts.
Because I saw that. I was like, dang, Keith. I was like, he actually got that.
That one's pretty brutal. Like, there are some levels where I can get on the MG and...
Yeah, I just got popped like after getting maybe one kill.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for them to kind of be able to get a corner on you. It was like this is like my favorite level, and it's my least favorite level. It's that sheer ice mountain, and then eventually it ends up in a giant ice cavern.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
That ice cavern, though, is a disaster. Like, the attackers just get lost running around it, and then they end up funneling into, and they have to capture basically the bottom of this bowl that you can just kind of pick them off in. I don't think I've ever seen an attacker win that one. The defender always ends up holding that one.
See, I love the maps.
Yeah, I think every map was good. I can't think of a map that I hated. I think I liked every single one of them.
The thing I most missed in this gameplay that Battlefield has, I missed the destructibility. Like, when things were blowing up and going off, to me, it kind of lost the feel of a Battlefield. Because like I've gotten spoiled with destructibility when you're seeing kind of craters being formed, buildings getting damaged. So stuff like that was kind of meh. But I love this gameplay. Like I said, I love that everyone has rifles. I will say, all right, so when you're talking about the classes, Aaron, this is one of the things I first thought was kind of lame. Almost every class to me felt exactly the same starting off. I couldn't tell you really the difference of any of the classes until you start leveling them up and you find out, the assault gets the grenade. Oh, the engineer can start building different things. The recon can get different things to like locate things. And it's just like, okay, this is starting to make sense. But it just took a while to kind of warm up with that. But go ahead.
Yeah, you're right on that. Speaking of the classes, there is, to me, if I were to go and change one thing about this game, and only one, this actually goes back to a point that I've always made to Keith in the past about Battlefield. I always told him Battlefield is great because you don't actually have to be good at shooting. Battlefield allows you to score points many different ways. And one of those ways is being a medic and healing and reviving people. This game has a healing mechanic. It does not have a revive mechanic. And I desperately wish it did, because some of those spawns are absolutely brutal. So I feel like the trade-off of really good medics being essential to turning the battle would have been perfect in a game like this, where Battlefield, it can be helpful, but I don't think it makes or breaks if you've got really good medics. Usually if you have like one or two, that's typically all you really need. It's annoying, but you can actually still win that way. This game, I feel like that would be a huge difference maker, as if they had medics.
I agree. I really wish there was a revive mechanic in this game, because everyone has bandages. Anyone can heal, but it very rarely do you survive a bullet shot. Just about anywhere is a one-hit kill. So people are getting popped left and right. But I love the healing mechanic in this game of you can heal yourself to stop the bleeding, but you don't get your health back. The only way to get health back is if someone applies bandages on you. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to play with your teammates.
But it's so irrelevant though.
It is. It's just a one-hit kill. 90
to 95% of the shots are one-shot kills. So even if you stop the bleeding, it doesn't really matter, because chances are you're going to get popped once and it should be dead anyway. So to me, the revive would have been way more useful to me than it would be to the heal.
Yeah, well, that's where, like, earlier you were talking about how Or like, oh, the Beretta, it's a little bit weaker. I noticed that on the guns that as it is, like, oh, the stopping power is lower or whatever the case may be. But it, even when I was getting kills, not even just in a complaining about getting killed way, like if I shot somebody, they just died. It didn't matter if I was the engineer or the rifleman or whoever it was. If I shot him, if I actually got a hit, then I was good to go. So it was almost like a weird thing to me to feel like they had like damage ratings for the weapons.
I think it was the Mountaineer. I worked up all these levels. I get this new gun and it shot a little bit faster. So you still kind of have to cock the gun every single time you shoot, but it's a little bit quicker. And that thing was a pea shooter. Like that thing was awful unless it was upper body. And I tried using it because I felt like I worked all this time to unlock it. So I'm like, I'm going to use this thing. And it was not very good. Like pretty much every gun is like that, Keith, where it's like all of them feel like just a one-shot kill pretty much, except for that one. I forget what it was. And I was like, I literally have to go back because I can't stand this thing. Just because everything is so deadly, to just suddenly unlock a gun that's not deadly is like, no, thank you.
But man, the comment of this game to me was just such a good hook because it is World War I. So it's a whole lot of trench warfare. There's a lot of mountain warfare. There's not a ton of city warfare, which is kind of nice. There's some levels that have some buildings and some alleys, but overall, not a lot. It's mostly kind of out enforced. But yeah, this game just rewards you if you can get behind enemy lines, run through the enemy trenches. Almost all the guns have bayonets on them too. Just going around and just poking people in the back. I would get such a kick out of it. Of course, then too, I would try to shoot someone, miss, give my location away. Everyone turns around and just blasts me. That's like, okay, I need to stop doing that. But this game was just felt so good when you would get the drop on people.
It's funny that you mention it. So I have actually had some critique here. I do have one more critique now that you're kind of mentioning that. The death noises.
Yes, I was going to say the audio is not good in this game.
I wouldn't say the audio is bad. I think the audio is generally pretty good.
It's fine. Compared to other war games, I did not think this audio was that great.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine. I will say that there's a lot of like really, really high standards there. So fine, yeah. Maybe it doesn't quite meet there. My issue is the people that are just like,
and it goes like on. I feel like it's you. It's like I die and then I'm just back in there. Either way, it was a weird.
It goes
balance.
Forever though.
It does. Yeah. I tried shooting the people to see if it would stop the audio. Because I got so sick of it, I literally would shoot them to see if I could put them out of their misery, and it didn't work. So it was probably the wrong guy to shoot. I was literally going around stabbing bodies, see who would do it.
It was such a weird balance because there was points where I was like, "Wow, this is like it's really intense. Like it's really bringing on the brutality of war in some senses." Like I imagine you hear some things like that if you're out, especially in these like slaughter fields that they had back in World War I. But at the same token, it was the same noise over and over and over again.
But I didn't think it felt the brutality of World War I. At first, I did. When I first heard it, I was like,
that's what I'm saying.
But this game's not very bloody. You literally shoot people, and people just kind of go ragdoll, just burp over, and their body disappears pretty quickly. So it's not like you're seeing a bunch of corpses everywhere. Like there's a little dismemberment, but very little, and it's hard to like notice.
You do have the option to turn the gore up. Unless the setting didn't stick for me, I turned it all the way up because I was kind of curious. Couple splatters.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw that setting. I would not call this a particularly brutal game. I thought
I only found it because I was looking for a toggle for the hold breath. With any game that does that, if I hate having to like hold down the left stick and aim at the same time. It just I thought it was. Wasn't it not toggle already? No, by default it's set to hold. At least I'm pretty sure it was. I don't know, but
I know you hold breath. I couldn't tell you.
Either way, that's why I was in there. The whole breath is
game changer.
It really was because it zooms in and it slows down the sway.
Oh,
like to almost none. Yeah, yes. It was,
and it holds it pretty long.
Like, yeah, it gives you a good probably 20 seconds, I'd say.
I always felt like a whole breath was like in 8 seconds. You've got like a pretty brief window. I feel like this one was way longer than what I'm used to. So I was kind of into it.
It was actually a very high praise, and I don't want to call it a game changer for me by any means, because there wasn't a lot of changing the game, but at the same token, having the ability to feel like I could actually see a little more, because it like visually too, you know, in any war game, there's some level of camouflage and all that. Obviously, your enemies are designed to. First of all, it hasn't done the Call of Duty thing and the Fortnite thing. Maybe not yet.
Skins.
Of like, hey, here's Jack Black in a chicken costume.
Here's a guy running around as a banana.
Yeah, like you don't have any of that junk going on. So everybody they fit the part. And if you're not really looking closely, it's very easy to just miss somebody who's not moving in the middle of some trees or just poking out over some rocks, because that distance without a true scope, we get so accustomed to these modern games, and it's like, this has a 1,000,000% scope. You can see them from the other side of the galaxy. And this is like,
you got iron sights.
Yeah. And we don't zoom them in. It's like you're actually looking down a full long barrel rifle. So it's pretty brutal. Yeah, the whole breath is key. You'll actually probably do a lot better now, Andrew. Maybe you'll actually turn into a decent player. It's an actual game changer for you.
I love the standoffs you get in people when you and another enemy see each other and you both pop at each other and miss, and you guys both do a waggle dance back and forth. Pop, pop. You're trying to. I lose
Start
those.
Stabbing at the air at nothing.
I did that once. Me and this other kid literally did 5 bullets, and I started a road. He just came up and stabbed me, and I was like, "Oh, why did I think of that?"
Yeah, that's my go-to. If I miss the shot, I'm pretty much charging you and trying to stab you. Like that's my go-to every time.
I love this game. Doesn't have vehicles either. This is all strictly foot soldiers, which is great.
Yeah. Well, this is a pretty small studio, isn't it? I know you didn't mention the studio at the beginning.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
assuming this is a pretty small studio. So I'm going to guess they had a limited budget.
Yeah, probably.
So considering the authenticity in this game to this point, I imagine that's a whole other level of hassle to try and put in vehicles.
Yeah, I should have said this is from Black Mill Games. So thank you, Aaron. I usually do at the beginning, but I completely forgot. Got to give them credit. But
do you know a single game Black Mill's made? I've never seen this before. I'd imagine they were a PC company.
Verdun was the other big game they did.
Well, another sim.
Yep. And then Tannenberg. I heard some people talk about I mostly heard people talk about Verdun.
I was Verdun World War I? Or is that? Yeah, that had to have been World War I.
That's World War One.
Okay.
That was back in 2013. But so yeah, they are a pretty small studio. But hopefully now this is on Game Pass. But so we kind of talked about skins. That's the other thing too. I did not see a lot of microtransactions. I know you can unlock skins.
You can, but I unlocked a bunch of skins.
But I don't know if there's any you buy.
They're not. That's the thing about it. I don't think there is. I'm really just guessing here, but I don't think there really is a shop here. Everybody, like, the skins are secondary. Like, this game did not seem like it cared what you looked like, and it wanted to highlight, because that's usually part of the skins game, right?
Yeah.
Is you make it flashy, you make it bombastic, you're the banana man, because you stick out and then everybody wants that. That's the whole play here. Nobody at any point in this game, I saw them walking around in a World War I outfit, and I was like, dang, I want that. Like, that didn't happen once.
They didn't have a rat mask, that's why.
Oh, a rat burner mask. Okay?
Excuse me. Sorry.
And that was hard to get, okay? It was a big deal that I had that mask. Was that from Battlefield 5?
That was one. That was Battlefield 1.
Was that Battlefield 1?
Yep.
Man, it always comes back to Battlefield for some reason. So I don't think this thing had a skin shop.
No,
I know.
Okay, so I'm looking up. It does. There's.
I saw some that's a DLC.
Yeah,
but it's DLC, not. Well, I guess it's all DLC.
No, because like I'm looking here, first wave. It says it comes with cosmetics of Alpine units and stuff like that. So from what it looks like, it is just all cosmetic.
I mean, I didn't see any of that going around. I didn't even recognize.
But that's the thing. It's not. Yeah, it's not shoving in your face.
Because there's really not a lot of close battles. Like you said, you have those couple, and they're very like awkward and shaky. And I think like even if you're a pretty good shot, because if you miss, as you said, it's like 1.5, 2 seconds of full on panic because you're basically dead in the water. So it's like, it's a very interesting dynamic when you get into these close battles. Everything takes place so far away that unless you had these really flashy skins, nobody stands out. It's all very much shades of blue and brown and gray.
Yeah.
They vary, but that's about, and then like, I think it's almost more like officer type stuff is what I think it was doing. Like, yeah, I know there's actual officer rank, but I think it was more just like stars and stripes and stuff that it adds to your uniform.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
a different color if the Alpine one, I guess, but.
Yeah, it looks like all the weapons are free and maps have been free. So everything you're buying is just cosmetic. This game won Indie Game of the Year in 2022 on Steam. Player's Choice.
Yeah, I know it was one of those. And those are just milsims in general. I feel like in the last 5 to 10 years, there's just these massive communities that like these milsim games. I don't really care for that. Like, it's just not. I want my video game to still feel like a video game.
Yeah, same. And this is such a good balance. Because also, too, real quick, there's no friendly fire.
Yeah, that's a good point, too.
I shot a lot of people and they did not die.
Yeah, you lose
points,
score.
yeah.
Oh, you do? I like that though, actually. Like it incentivizes you not to do it, but it's not going to be like, well, you just lost the ticket. You just set your team back.
Yeah.
Just penalize
and you get a
points
respawn time penalty, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, none of that.
Respawn time penalty seems weird if it doesn't actually
I think they
do
did
anything.
they did it in Hell Let Loose. And because I kept killing teammates, I'd throw a grenade and then my teammates would run in.
If you kill them, it would
like,
make sense.
on.
But I feel like the points is probably enough, but
oh yeah, no, this game has
Okay.
no respawn limit. Like penalty.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about this game, sorry.
No.
Yeah. Though talking about tickets does bring up my next complaint. I can't stand that you can hold a team to overtime. So they are out of tickets and it is overtime. If they get it, they get all of their tickets back for the next wave of the fight. Where when you're playing, like just using as Battlefield as an example, Battlefield will give them a certain amount of tickets for capturing a point. So if they have 300 tickets and they lose 200, they have 100, and all they could earn was 75 for capturing that point, it just adds 75.
Yeah.
So us damaging them so much there is going to hurt them for the rest of it. In Isonzo, they could be at 0. And it will give them the 300 tickets back for capturing that point. That is incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, it is. That's happened.
Those 300 tickets take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are long fights. And so, like, you got them there, and it's just like, well, no, they keep going. It keeps on going. And that to me is incredibly demoralizing. I'm going to guess the thought process was like, well, what's the point of just giving them some tickets? Like, they actually earned it. They actually won it. So they get but man, it's incredibly frustrating when you've already spent like 30 minutes on that point and now it basically resets it going to the next point.
Speaking of which, this is the thing I couldn't quite figure out. So hopefully you guys can shed some light. So normally in a typical multiplayer game, the map you're playing, that is it. You won the game. Like you have multiple points, you get all the points, you win the game. In this, a game is a campaign. It looks like to me there's multiple maps and it's like, oh, attackers won the first map, defenders win the second map, but at the end does it matter? There's times where did you even notice this, Aaron?
No, I did notice that. My initial thought was, oh, they're doing the what did they call them in Battlefield 1?
Was it like
theaters?
Oh, theaters.
I think they called them like theaters, where it was like it played out Battlefield, but on a larger battlefield. So you kind of had to do a bunch of things. You had to do this map, then you had to do this map, then you had to do this map, but depending on how they fought out, altered them. Where it felt like that's what this was trying to do, but I also think because it's very like PC-like, where you pick a server, I wonder if just each one of these private servers are just people just picking which maps they want to do.
Yeah.
So there is no cohesive build to it. I'm not really sure. I know we're obviously coming into Isonzo much later into its life cycle,
which is great because there's so many maps and guns now.
It's true. You don't lack the content, but I'm wondering if what this was to start just isn't what it is right now. We're playing. It didn't hurt me.
No,
it
it
didn't
didn't.
affect me. I didn't care what map I was playing. I was still enjoying it and having a fun time with it. So it didn't make too much of a difference. But I think that might have been trying to do a big theater.
I'm like
at one point.
90% sure though that I was able to just hit like a play game option and it threw me into a random lobby. Like I didn't have to pick one.
No. I did. I don't remember why, but I would scroll through because there were maybe some maps that I wanted to try that I hadn't tried. So you can scroll through a server browser, just like old school Battlefield, and pick one that you wanted to jump into. So you could see its ping and everything. So you could kind of get all that information and how many people were in there.
That's a very
But yeah,
PC
if you did
thing.
just want to hit the quick play, I think the quick play would just throw you into like the most available one.
Yeah, see, that's how I think I got into an offline match too. Because I must have done something. Because I even noticed once when I booted it up that it was I think press Y and it was like play offline or something like that. So that's what I had done and how I got there. But I don't know.
Maybe it put you in there just to like give you a little boost.
Well, it took me even a second because what was the game that you did that with, Aaron? Like I know you normally have good games, but there was one shooter that we played recently that it was like it starts like your like first 10 matches are against
Gate.
Yeah. Guys,
Look,
I'm
like,
amazing at this
Oh,
game.
that's
Your
right.
first 30 games are against bots, and it's not.
And they don't make it apparent.
Obvious.
No, because they make it
Dude,
apparent Xbox games. But
I was having the time of my life.
so that's what I'm
These
saying.
kids
Is like
suck.
when I first looked at the score and I was like, oh man, I'm in first on my team. This is awesome. And I just saw everyone was like at a level 1. I was like, oh cool. It must have just thrown me into like an intro lobby. Didn't think anything of it. But then I started looking at the names and I was like, those are like human names, not even Xbox. And that's when it all clicked. And yeah, like I said, so you can do it. And maybe so if you're like me and that's how you want to try to learn the game. I think if I had probably done 3 or 4 matches that way and then got into online, maybe I would have enjoyed myself more because I would have felt like I just Meat Grinder it feels tame. It feels tame.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. Like I had plenty of bad matches. Like I had matches that I was like struggling in. So it wasn't like every single one of these I was just flying through them. Like I definitely had moments where I was like
struggling, Aaron.
I would get on like 5 or 6 death streaks sometimes. Like that would happen, but it's for the most part, yeah, I could kind of maintain my own. Once you kind of figure out where the battlefield is, and it does show you like these are your points that you're going to. So I know, generally speaking, there's going to be some guys defending that, or I'm defending that against where their spawn is. So the map gives you enough information. That's again a point where it's not quite milsim. It's still video game, so I can still see a lot of information just by looking at a map. But it was hard. Like I'm not sitting here saying I just dominated out there. That challenge was fun though. I find it very fun because they're having that same challenge I'm having.
Yep.
So it's not like one guy is just really good at rifles and can just take everybody out. I generally was sitting around the top with some of these guys, but we all had a lot of deaths. Like we weren't going on huge kill streaks. So
Maybe. I think one of my better games, I took a screenshot of it. I think I was like 10 and 19.
Ooh.
I had like
that's not
Good
bad.
job, Keith.
yeah. But the top scores, now, not that I would need to be close to the top scores, we're talking triple digit kills for like the top 5. Like people were massacring this team. Great.
Most
I
of
got
those-
10 kills.
Most of those guys are the officers, because if you can if you can get a really good strafing run or bombing run, and you're getting a few of those a game, I mean, you can kill some serious people. My highest kill games were officer games. Those are
I hated the officers
easily
so
the best
much.
games I had.
No, see, I was in one game where it was a city map, so it was more tight quarters, and he was on the enemy team. He was 32-2 because he was assault class and he had a machine gun. So he was running through the alleys, just just taking everyone out. That guy was just on a tear. Because I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, that guy must be an officer. Then I ran into him and I was like, no, that guy's a machine gun.
There are a few city levels. I know you mentioned kind of earlier, you sounded like you were happy that there weren't a lot of city levels. I think city levels are great. I mean, there isn't a lot in this game. I feel like that gun would be really good for that type of level, but not out in an open field. I feel like that machine gun suddenly doesn't feel so good. And there's a lot of kind of open field areas.
Man, I love Javier's roasting you.
That's one of my all-time favorite movie clips because it's just purely the hoodwinked.
I've never heard anyone talk about hoodwinked.
You literally cannot find that movie because I was telling the kids about it. I mean, it probably wasn't great. Even outside I thought it was a pretty funny movie, but it is not available. Like, you can't even stream it on YouTube.
Why are you looking for it?
I had to get it at the dang library because I wanted to show the kids because I thought it was funny.
Look, guys, there's someone with my name on here.
It's not just the whole movie is funny to me. That I think is just a particularly funny part. Yes, because it's. I mean, I'm getting roasted a little bit, but I think it's funny.
I mean, Aaron has no room to talk. He loves storks.
All right. For an animated kids film that has no business actually being kind of funny, Storks is actually genuinely funny. That's Andy Samberg. You can't come at me and say like, oh, no, Andy Samberg was never funny. Yes, he's funny. And it's a funny movie. I'll die on that hill. Can I mention one other minor complaint?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And this is a minor complaint. So a critique on the game. I don't know if either of you guys even ran into this problem. This might be a very exclusive me problem because of how I was progressing. But I said what I do like about this game is how there are so many little progression levels. So obviously you have your overall rank that you're gaining XP for, but then you're gaining XP for each class that you're playing as well. And then inside of those classes are specific challenges, and those challenges unlock other things for that class. I loved this. This was like every single time I was like, oh, what do I got to do? So I started to run into a problem, and I hate that this even exists, and I hate that the system just doesn't quite correct this because I thought something was broken. I basically was progressing so fast as the individual like classes.
Oh, you're so good.
That what was happening is it was giving me challenges that I couldn't possibly complete because my overall class level was not there yet. So like I had this one where it was like for the officer. It's like, oh, you got to call in all these recons. And I'm like calling in all these recons. And then the other part was like, you got to spot these things. And I keep spotting. And it would never progress. So I'm like online, like, oh, my game's bugged out. Like it's bugged out and I'm Googling it. Everyone's like, no, you just got too far ahead of yourself. So you actually can't progress it until you're a higher level. But it still showed me that challenge. So I still have those challenges. They're right there and I can't do anything with them. Drives me nuts. I'm sure you guys both ran into that issue as well.
Actually, there was one time I did.
Yeah, it was annoying. Did you figure out why you weren't able? Like, I hate that it shows you the check boxes. So it's like, let me check them.
Yeah, no, there was like one for like specifically assault and like using the canteen. And I was like, I'm doing this. Why is it not like working? Eventually finally kicked in. So I thought the same thing. I just never looked into it. I figured it was just bugged.
No, you basically were completing those challenges faster than the level of that class.
But yeah. So we already talked a little bit about the sound. Do you have anything else to talk about with the sound?
No. The music's great.
Yeah, the music, like in the game and stuff, like the menu, that's great. I just hated the voice.
Battlefield 1. I don't know what it is about this era. This era is so good. Battlefield 1 has some of the best music I've ever heard in a video game. And this one has some great moments too. The great, like you'll have a choir singing at some points, and it's incredible. Love it.
Yeah. Graphically, I will say graphics, this game actually is very good.
It's not bad.
It's not AAA studio, but it's very good.
It's I would say it's better than average. Like I can't say anything stuck out to me. It's like, oh, that looks rough. But it also isn't like the most beautiful game I've ever seen either. So yeah, I'd say it's better than average.
No, I feel like if you look up at anything up close, it shows its cracks, if you will. No pun intended. But outside of that, like from a distance, everything looks pretty good. It's kind of how I felt about it. I did like the gun design. Like I thought that was really cool. Like the animations, like reloading guns and stuff.
Yeah. But and then yeah, achievements, a little rough. They're definitely not for achievement hunters, but I at least was getting a good amount of them. And then I guess now Keith figured out that you can get the achievements offline.
Accidentally, but I did.
So I guess actually, I don't know. I guess maybe you could recommend this for achievement hunters, because I did not think about that.
Some of that stuff, some of it's just progression, though.
It is.
Yeah, but it was, but the levels that I put into my classes there carried over when I was playing online.
Oh, wow.
So so it absolutely could. Because yeah, like that 21, I think I probably actually got closer to 50 because I just stayed there, and there was this point where they just kept running up over a hill, and they would run past me up another hill and then turn their back to me. And even though I couldn't shoot them at the angle where they had their back turned to me, they weren't looking at me. They were just running somewhere else. And so I just shoot the ones that were continuing to come over the hill. It was the easiest thing I did in the entire game, honestly. At that point, I had realized that I was playing the computer. So I just want to be clear that I wasn't doing that going, man, I'm so good. That point, I had realized they were all computer. So not that dumb. That's all I'm saying.
All right, but bringing our final thoughts here. So for me, like I said, I love Isonzo. This was a surprise to me, because I've only heard like this game as a cult following of people being like, oh yeah, Isonzo's great. But I always saw it as a PC game. Then when I saw it was just coming Game Pass, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll finally give this game a try. And man, I had a lot of fun with this. This hooked its teeth into me pretty quick. I just, as Aaron said, the progression's good. I loved, like I said, I liked Hell Let Loose. It's just too simulator. This has such a good balance of being realistic, but also much of a video game as well, where you can have fun and die, and I don't feel frustrated. It's goofy kind of in a way. I don't know. This is, so I highly recommend this game. Some of the audio is kind of crap, but besides that, that's kind of a minor complaint. To me, this is easily 88.
Yeah, this game was great for me. I know I had some critiques here, so I don't have. Hopefully I didn't sound too negative on it, because I really did. I enjoyed this game a lot.
No, your negative things were very minor.
Yeah, all right. This is just a perfect balance of milsim and arcade, which I think is just kind of critical for my enjoyment. Going too far into milsim just isn't for me, and I know there's obviously a market for that, because there seems to be a new milsim every other month coming out on Steam. So I know that's just a really popular genre. I like World War I. I thought this was a really challenging game, but it wasn't, for me, a frustrating game. It was just kind of a lot of fun to work its way through. I'm going to keep it at a nice, clean, round 9. I think it's, or a 90, because you guys do it on a scale of 100. I'm going to give it a 90. It's not quite Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 is still my favorite Battlefield. I love that game, and it's not quite at that level. It doesn't have that same kind of grandiose feel to it, but it's still great. It's still a lot of fun. So to me, it's a good little 90.
So I haven't done this in a while, and I'm not going to truly do it, but just to harken back to old days, it's a great game, just not for me. But it's a game that circles that. I don't know. I don't have to say a lot, because I think all of the points that you guys made in terms of, if this is a style of game you want to play, it's going to have all of that. And so I could absolutely recommend this to people. I can see where it does things well in its genre. I just have no desire to want to keep playing it, because I just couldn't have fun with how bad I was personally. So it's like so this is definitely like just to set it outside, I'm gonna put this into the 60s and call it a 68 as a personal score, just because of my enjoyment of it. But outside of that, I absolutely would recommend this game. So
did you look at
to people
Metacritic?
who like this? No, I was actually just on Metacritic, because I was trying to see if our other.
Well, I was going to do Liz's segment, because Metacritic for Metascore, it's a 67. For users, it's 6.7. So that's, I was like, are you just copying Metacritic, Keith?
No, I just, because we always get to end of year and then I'm like, oh, I gave that like a 78. Oh yeah, I guess. And so no, I'm just going to set this low and give it a reason why.
That seems like an astronomically low
It does.
score. I wonder if this game started out in way worse shape, and it just hasn't really been reviewed really since. Because I can't fathom how you get to that low of a score on this. Even if I could understand it if this game wasn't for you. I can understand that.
Yeah.
But how does the general populace come to a number that low. That's kind of wild to me because it just does not feel like it's that. I've played bad games, and this is not a bad game.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
This is a 0 review that someone gave it. As a longtime fan of Tannenberg and Verdun, I'm in shock with how terrible Isonzo turned out. Sluggish gameplay with an annoying bleed mechanic that I swear happens way more than it should. I can actually understand where they're coming from, but that's part of me just not really liking the style.
I felt like I was either dead or it'd be like a couple times around I'd bleed, but not very often.
It was always the airstrikes. I'm not going to go down that road.
Yeah.
The progression system is terrible. It takes forever to unlock anything, and by that point, most players quit playing because of sheer boredom. Game is full of so many hackers that it should be called wall shooter or most extreme aimbotting. Avoid this game and stick with Tannenberg or Verdun. And that was July 14th, 2024.
That's wild to me.
PS5.
Yeah.
That's wild to me because I don't think it's boring. I love the progression system. I don't know. For me, it was a lot of fun because it gave me things to like challenges to go after. So it gave me something to try something new every time I played.
Yeah, but otherwise, I'm not seeing a lot of new-ish reviews.
Let's say on PC, it's a 7.4.
Like that to me seems a little bit more realistic. Yeah. Like I understand I am a very specific person who just likes World War I games, so I know that's
this game's made for you.
It's probably really scratching an itch for me, but yeah, to me, I could see the general populace coming to a score around there. I just can't down in the 60s. It's like, that's wild.
I know. That's weird.
Wow. This person is just really mad about Italy.
Oh, so it's a race thing. All right.
It's a disgrace how M2H and Blackmail Games disrespected Slovenians by completely ignoring us in our history of being constantly attacked, killed, genocided, and tried to be deleted from every history by every neighboring nation.
Nobody's eating pasta.
If you're Slovenia, I don't know anything. I'm just reading this. Especially also Italy.
It's a multiplayer game. It's not like.
I don't know.
I don't get that guy's logic.
It seems like a weird thing to throw into a video game, but hey, I don't know.
All right, but we're going to wrap it up here. So thank you all so much for joining us. If you want more of me and Keith, check out We Were Just Guests on Gaming Together podcast, episode 161, where we talked about Exoprimal. So that just came out. That was a lot of fun. So
RIP.
What RIP? What
that game just got shut down.
Well, it's no longer being supported. There's no new content. But it is kind of funny.
It is for a live service game. That's kind of a problem.
But we talk about, the game hasn't changed much, so kind of understandable why it's getting shut down. But it's a good game. I still like it though. But if you have any game recommendations, go to GamePassGrabBag.com. Go to our link tree, send us an email, GamePassGrabBag@gmail.com. And we'll start getting into more listener requests because, Liz is going to be gone for still a while. We just had a baby. So that's also why we've been missing some episodes. But yeah, thank you, Aaron, for joining us. Do your outro before Keith does his.
What?
You can do your outro before Keith does his.
Oh, I don't really have an outro. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Where you can find Aaron is here with us. When he
this
joins.
is where I exist. Yeah, you can find me here.
And I've been Keith, and I just want to point out, because you were making a big deal about Andy Samberg. Hoodwinked had Anne Hathaway, Glenn Close, Jim Belushi, Patrick Warburton, Anthony Anderson, Exhibit, and Andy Dick.
Okay, you named a lot of not funny people. That's a huge problem.
Excuse me? Exhibit? He's hilarious.
Yeah, you're wrong, Aaron. You're very wrong. So Hoodwinked was a great movie. It is actually available on Amazon Prime for 99 cents. Yeah, or your local library. If they don't have it at yours, they can often go within their library network and get it from another library. So support your local libraries. They're a good thing.
Did you actually request it at your library? They're like, oh, we can get it from Library of Michigan.
I did because I could do it online.
Please.
If I had to actually go in person and say those words to another person,
I want Hoodwinked.
Wouldn't have happened. But I could do it online, so I did.
All right, everyone. We love you all. We'll see you again next week.
Bye.